My life changed one Sunday afternoon when I was about your age. I didn't realize it at the time. It seemed like another ordinary day. And the guy who changed my life, well, he seemed pretty annoying at the time. This is what happened. At the time, I was in high school. Everything at school was going pretty well. I had a great group of friends, a wonderful girlfriend, and a good part-time job. On the outside, everything seemed fine. But on the inside, a growing restlessness was building up. One Sunday afternoon, I was at a barbecue with some of my mates when I bumped into a friend of my family's. He came up to me, he said, "How are you, Matthew?" I said, "Fine." He said, "How's school?" I said, "Fine." You see, when I was a teenager, the answer to every question was fine. But he was a doctor, and doctors know how to ask great questions. Like good teachers and good coaches and good priests. They know how to ask good questions. And he started asking me these questions about my life. We talked for a while, and after about 15 minutes, he just looked at me. He said, "Matthew, you're not really happy, are you?" I was ashamed to admit it. I think our culture teaches us that. I think our culture teaches us to pretend that everything's fine, even when it isn't. But I knew he knew. And I knew something was wrong. I knew that something was missing. I just had this restlessness within me. I said to him, "You know what? I'm not really happy. I've got this restlessness within me. I've got this sense that something's wrong." He said, "Well, what do you think's causing that?" I said, "I have absolutely no idea." He said, "It's probably not that something's wrong. It's probably that something's missing." I said, "Well, what's missing? What do you mean?" He said, you probably need to spend some time in church." I said, "No, I go to church on Sunday." He said, "That's not what I'm talking about." He says to me, "You got to walk past church every day to get to school." He said, "You should stop in for 10 minutes each day and just spend some time there in the quiet. Spend some time in prayer." I remember thinking to myself, what sort of religious freak do I have on my hands here? I mean, I didn't tell him I thought he was a freak. I just sort of nodded and smiled. You know how we do that sometimes. But about 6 weeks later, I'm on my way to school one morning, and the restlessness, it hasn't gone away. In fact, it's getting worse. So I remember stopping in the back of church and sitting way up the back and just sitting there and planning my day. I just sat there and planned my day for 10 minutes. But just by planning my day, I felt so peaceful. I think it's the first time in my adult life where I remember feeling genuinely peaceful. And I really liked that. So I came back again the next day. I sat up the back, I planned my day. I did this every day for about 3 weeks. And then one day, I remember I'm sitting there, I'm planning my day, and it occurred to me that, planning your day isn't really prayer. I mean, in the strictest sense of the word. So I decided to pray a little bit. I said, "All right, listen up, God, your servant is speaking. I want this, and 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 I want this, 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 I want this. Get busy with that, God. I'll see you tomorrow." I was so proud of myself, now that I was really praying. I did this every day for about 3 weeks. I come in, I sit up the back, I plan my day, I give God his instructions for the day, and then I go to school. But then I remember this particular day, I had this situation, this dilemma, this decision I had to make. And I remember coming into church that morning and sitting way up the back and just looking up toward the tabernacle and just in a simple prayer in my heart saying, "Listen, God, I got a problem. This is the situation. What do you think I should do?" And with that question, my life began to change. I call that the big question. The big question, God, what do you think I should do? Now, the truth is that if we think we can find happiness without asking and answering that question, then we're either the kings or the queens of La La Land, because God has got an incredible plan for your life. And it's only by having the courage to come before God and say, "Hey, God, what do you think I should do?" that we discover that plan and begin to live that plan. Only then, only when we start to live the plan that God has dreamed for us, do our lives begin. So you ready to get started? Are you ready for your life really to begin? Our lives change when our habits change. It's not freak luck. God doesn't have favorites. When do our lives really change for the better? Our lives change when our habits change. Are you ready for a life-changing new habit?